Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to this Dota On Demand presentation. I am BDLM. Coming to you with my buddy J4Y. As per the usual, on this lovely Wednesday evening. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm getting over a cold that I've had since like
Fantastic.
Saturday. So if I cough or, sneeze or just die,
Vomit everywhere.
well, that doesn't really come with colds very often. But, obviously not as good with you. You had a very romantic evening with yourself, I can tell.
Yes, I generally do. They're always quite special. I surprise myself every time. I'm just so spontaneous.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, no, we're coming to you guys today, Wednesday, because obviously yesterday was Valentine's Day. So I took the evening off so Jay could go do crazy things and I could go work. So here we are with episode 13, lucky number, sort of going along with the Valentine's Day theme of love, hate, things that we're in love with and things that we're kind of not so in love with the current goings on. First off, though, I do have to give a shout out to Miss Shelby. Thank you very much for happening to point out to me that my webcam is terrible right when I got my tax refund check. So,
Yeah.
thank you for pointing that out. As you guys can see, you get to fully appreciate me and all my glory. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you had a happy Valentine's Day. So we're gonna start this off. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and take it because I'm a jerk. Go on my little rant about whatever, and then get your reactions. Sound good?
No, it sounds really terrible.
Well, I'm doing it anyway.
Wow.
Deal with it.
Okay.
First things first. It's kind of a weird love hate thing. I really don't have any like hates because I'm just awesome like that. The
No
the
hate.
one thing, no hating. The one thing that I'm kind of like unhappy with is the way people are picking Slardar up. Actually, I've been watching some games recently, and if you can't get Darkseer to fight Dragonite, people have been picking up Slardar, and it kind of makes sense because a part of what makes DK so good is the fact that he has so much armor, and so you use the amplify damage, and you take a lot of that away, and you're in theory making DK a lot weaker. But it's been weird because the way people have been doing that, they don't have anything to go along with Slardar. They expect Slardar to be able to do it all. And it's kind of weird to me because it's like, if you were to ask somebody, it's like, oh, why would you pick up Slardar against DK? Oh, because of amplify damage. Okay, well, level 6, who would you rather have, Slardar or DK? Who's better? Well, DK can push towers. He can do damage over time. He can, you know, he has some speed, so he can sort of try and get to safer ground away from Slardar. So, I'd pick DK. Okay, well, how about level 16 when he has his AoE ulti? The DK. Oh, well, then, of course, yeah, because he can do all that damage, he can push, yada yada. Okay, well, how about when they're, like, fully bought out? Well, DK, because he does a ton of damage in an AoE, again. So why are you picking Slardar again? To counter Dragonite. Like, there's no other damage there to go with him, and so it's kind of, like, all up to Slardar to do something that I don't think he can really do.
I mean, I think Slardar's purpose is not to go. I mean, it is to go toe to toe, but not to be able to match up in like everything he does. Obviously, there's few heroes that can match up to Death Knight, Dragon Knight. What he exactly could do, like, okay, what hero can be super tanky, push AOE? Like his kit is very unique, I think, in that sense.
Hmm.
Most heroes can only do one or two of those things, not all of them. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to find a hero that really matches up equally to him. But what I guess maybe people pick Slardar do is more just try to figure or to help out taking down such a beefy hero. And I mean, yes, it's not just enough the minus armor to kill a hero. I mean, you have to get a lot of auto attacks in then afterwards to really benefit from, I guess, having that debuff on him.
Hmm.
But it is minus 15 armor at the same time. And on top of that, Slardar does also bring to the table, if you have another high damage dealing hero, first of all, yeah, you'll kill whoever you had that on really quickly, but also Roshan. He's such a huge force against Roshan, which, like, if you can somehow swing the team fight in your way or you're up on against them, like, you can take him down in matters of like a minute tops. Just because minus 15 armor against him, that puts him in negative, I think. And like, that's just one reason. I mean, there are a few different reasons. I agree with you. He's not gonna match up to Dragon Knight. He's not gonna stop him. But I think he maybe contributes other things that help maybe take him down, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you that there's more that Slardar can do, but I think it's interesting the picks that go along with Slardar. I haven't seen Slardar and then like a ranged AD or another or AD like an auto attack based hero. It's like Slardar, and then we have like a caster to do burst damage.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so literally the amplify damage is only helping Slardar, so it's almost is like, yeah, we just expect Slardar and DK to be able to go, one on one, and hopefully our Slardar will win. And I don't think you're ever going to find a situation where that's really true, especially because Dragon Knight gets a lot of his damage, through his ulti and being able to do area damage. So he can still build tanky and do a lot more damage than Slardar can, because Slardar has to go Blink Dagger or something, which doesn't give any stats. And then probably your next item is going to be Shrunken Head. So yeah, that's going to be able to give you some damage, some strength, but you're spending 2,200 gold to get mobility and nothing to help you actually fight DK.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like if you pick Slardar, you should have someone with high attack damage to follow up on that. I mean, that's just, I agree with you completely. Like, if you do pick him in, like, then Tinker or Storm Spirit or something to, like, semi carry you in the game, that's not going to work. Pick up someone, preferably even range, that way he can go in there, stun, initiate, because that's what Slardar is really good at. He's really good at the initiate with sprint, or if he has a blink dagger, goes in there, stuns 2 or 3 heroes at a time, marks that person, gets in your face. Like, that's really nice. But yeah, you need someone maybe in the back, such as, we don't see Drow, but anyone like
Razor?
Razor's not a bad one, because he builds up that damage with, I believe, is it Conduit? I think that's what it's called. Either way, we all know what we're talking about here. He steals the damage from a hero and gains it himself. And then he also reduces armor as well with his ultimate. So that's nice on top of that.
That's for sure.
But, so actually Razor, and we've actually seen him picked up a few times recently, pretty interesting. Mirana's another great pick. Anyone that's really ranged and, like, able to follow up that damage, I agree. That is what would make Slardar strong. But just him by himself, that's not going to cut it.
Definitely. I mean, the other thing too is, we're thinking we pick up the Slardar to get rid of armor. What happened to Desolator? I mean, that was an item a while ago that we would see from time to time, like a Nature's Prophet, and Prophet has been getting through the ban pool. So maybe instead of picking the Slardar, yeah, of course, like we said, good for initiation, good for taking down Roshan, but you could always put that minus armor on another hero if you feel like it's so important that you have to pick it up.
Yeah, I don't think teams like feel like that's a necessary component of a team build. I think it's just like they throw it just on top of that. I mean, especially you see that picked up very often against teams that have like Lich or someone that boosts armor on their team, because that way you can kind of cut through it a little bit. I mean, like a Dragon Knight with Lich on his team is scary, very scary.
Yeah.
And I mean, you kind of need a Slardar against that, to be honest. Like, there's some things where that minus armor just is almost essential to even hurt that guy. Like, unless you have enough burst damage, which against a strength hero who's building tanky, burst heroes generally aren't going to do enough. You really need that pounding of some kind of physical damage hero to get in there. So, I don't know. I think Desolator, it usually synergizes with Slardar just to tack on even more, but you're right, it's not like a necessary reason to get Slardar, I guess. I don't know. I think Assault Curious is a wonderful item on Slardar, and that's generally picked up because that also, not only does that help reduce armor of enemies, it'll increase the armor of you and your allies and give that attack speed, which is just really nice for proccing, his bash or whatever, and just overall helping you do more damage, I guess, in the fight.
Well, I didn't mean picking up Desolator on Slardar. I meant like on another hero instead of picking Slardar in general. I mean, the only other problem too with Assault Curious, or even an item like Desolator on Slardar, any one of those big like damage items, is at least the way I've been seeing Sardar's played. Some of these recent games, it's the 2,200 gold into the Blink Dagger, 2,150, and then it's the BKB. Like, both are rather expensive items, and pretty much by that point, the game is almost over. So he doesn't really get a chance to start building damage items to really fight Dragon Knight. By that point, it's kind of already been decided.
I mean, I'm gonna say the only hero that can really go toe to toe would be like Night Stalker during his nighttime, possibly. But even still, he doesn't do a great job. The only reason he might be kind of effective is because not only does he silence him, so he can't use his stun or cone breath or whatever, he also that gives mischance too, which is pretty nice.
Hmm.
And then of course, he is tanky and moves and hacks really fast. But you see Ice Stalker get banned way too often, whereas Dragon Knight rarely or never gets banned. So I mean, the chances of you getting him against Dragon Knight are going to be slim to none. Because especially, I feel like Dragon Knight's picked not right. It's usually later in the draft anyway. So by that time, you're like, oh, they have DK. What's left? What can we throw at him? Maybe
Yeah.
that's a reason why he Slardar gets picked up. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't
Who
know.
would you Who would you rather see in Slardar's place then?
I mean, nobody's going to be able to fill the kind of role that I think people are trying to get Slardar to fill there. It's both kind of the counter to Dragon Knight as well as the team initiation. But like I said, I think if you, instead of building Prophet with the sheep stick the way people have been doing recently, go back and build him like they did in the olden days and put Desolator on him. And then get somebody else to do your initiation. Maybe perhaps somebody that might even be better at the push strategy. Maybe like a Beastmaster, somebody you can still generate the initiation, but you know has some additional push potential. I think that's something I'd like to see a little bit more, perhaps. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Nyx, of course, is always good against those tanky
Well,
heroes as well.
definitely, and I think people are maybe approaching it. I think I want rather approach from a different angle instead of like picking a hero that's going to go toe to toe with him. I'd rather see either support or your semi carry be someone that has a lot of CC. For example, Shadow Shaman's great against him. Maybe even Lion, who fell off the face of the earth. Someone, I feel like if you can lock him down while he's in that dragon form, he's not gonna kill. He's not gonna destroy your team. But if he's just free attacking, doing whatever he pleases, then yeah, you're gonna get rolled. But if you can keep him locked down, keep him CC'd, for example, Prophet with the sheep stick, that happens very often. I mean, like just keep chaining these CCs and or silences, whatever have you. I think that's really maybe a better approach, and then have also that physical carry that does more damage or more useful than Slardar.
Yeah, but then you have the problem of just like BKB being kind of like the counter all that stuff. I mean, obviously it's gonna wear off, but
Unless you get the initiation. Like,
yeah,
if a lot of Shadow Shamans get that Blink Dagger, and if they get the jump, they can chain those CCs for a good 8-9 seconds. So,
yeah, that's very
it
true.
depends. Situational.
Situation. All right, I guess it's your turn, sir. What do you love and or hate?
I'm loving it. I hate. No, actually hate McDonald's. I
Yeah,
also
we all
hate.
do.
Yeah, well, I work there, so deal with it.
McDonald's makes us hate ourselves.
That's also
That's
true.
probably.
Okay, I hate Darkseer. I
Oh.
think his beard is not well kept. He doesn't even groom it.
Whoa!
I mean, that's just the first. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I
It's
mean,
wily. That's part of its appeal.
if he's such a seer, at least groom yourself a little bit. I feel
He's
like,
like a wizard. It's got to be.
yeah, but he's purple. I don't know what it has to do with anything. I just the color
Okay.
purple just irks me. Anyways, I guess one of the main reasons, though, besides his beard, and I don't like him,
Okay.
is the fact that his ultimate, I feel like, brings a kind of situation to the game that I don't like to see. I don't like when teams can just turtle up really easily, and like it's really becomes difficult to really engage. So like basically, I feel like it extends the game when the game shouldn't have to be extended. For example, a team has a decent advantage. They push down most of the tier 2 towers. They kind of got control of the map really good. But the other team has Darkseer, and if you try pushing their base, he can just drop that wall. And you're really going to struggle to try to kill anyone. And I feel like it just really, yeah, like it pulls the game out even farther when the game really should be over that point. I guess that's the point of him, right? Like some heroes are just good at turtling, but I don't like turtling in general. So I guess he's just one of the turtling heroes I don't like. I don't like that style. I don't like seeing teams have to like bunker up and farm the creeps and get strong enough so they can push out their base. Like I don't like that kind of play style at all. So maybe that's my thing.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because if your Darkseer isn't getting a lot of farm, or let's say in this turtle scenario, right? If it's not like a super farm Dragon Knight that's being replicated, I don't think there's enough of an incentive not to try and go in. I mean, we've seen teams run through walls just because it's like, okay, I'll deal with this for a couple seconds because we think we have enough control over this that we can kind of just go through it, and it's not really a big deal. Um, I guess it's kind of a nice tool for stopping the super carry, from stopping one hero from getting everything and then just being able to annihilate the entire team. Because if they do walk through that wall, then all of a sudden they're a threat to their own team. And so I think it's weird, sort of, in this team pushing sort of thing where you aren't relying on one hero to get all the items. You're really kind of spreading it out more evenly across the team. So, really, how useful is that wall being when you don't have, like, Aghanim Scepter? It seems really interesting how weak that wall is when you don't have Scepter. When you can't replicate your own team members, then it really is just sort of this turtle tool or this, big team fight tool. It doesn't seem anywhere near as effective. I mean, we've seen some wonderful play with the Scepter, putting it like right out front of the enemy team's base, then walk up to the wall, walk away, send the illusion in at the tower at the racks. I think that's really cool. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting ability, and it's one that's going to change depending on how the game's being played too.
It's true, and I mean I do agree with the Augment Scepter. I mean, comment. It really it kind of changes the dynamic of how you can use it effectively. Like if you don't have it, then you really can only use it for defensive purposes. But yeah, if you do get that thing, now we can push with it, and that just definitely changes the way the game can be played. But I don't know, anything like that. I guess I mean it's not like it's not counterable or anything. Like for example, like you said, if teams play smart, they only send a couple heroes through, or you can get around it. It's not like a end all turtle ability, but it still is pretty annoying at the end of the day. I guess it really doesn't affect those supports or anything like, oh no, now this vengeful spirit with boots is going to auto attack us. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's terrible. Yeah, it's only going to really matter against those few, especially ranged heroes. I think it affects ranged hero. Like that's the most important. Like a ranged hero that you get an image of ranged hero that does a lot of damage, like Marana or like you said, Dragonite and Dragon form. Then yeah, that's going to hurt. But like a melee. Only a little bit, I guess. And especially if you have like big AoE moves, like the illusions die really quickly, so it's not the end of the world. I just don't like turtling.
Yeah, I think the ability to be able to like hold down Darkseer has been coming up more and more. I think that like the first time we saw him, he really did kind of. He was able to take the other team sort of by surprise, like Darkseer, we weren't expecting this, and he was able to get a good amount of farm. He was able to get that Aghanim Scepter. The last couple games I've seen him in, he hasn't been able to do that really. It's been kind of just the boots and then maybe defensive item, and not really being able to get the kind of farm that he was able to get before. Because teams are being able to handle him better and shut him down, and are forcing him to Ion Shell on a creep and just hope that gets some AoE kills.
Right. And I mean, it's really not very useful for farming until the rank 3 or 4. I mean, it's not bad, but like if you're a decent player against him, if he's just ion shelling, then denying creeps is not that difficult. Like the damage of time is so low that it's pretty easy to outlast it. I mean, if you're decent, like these pros should be able to no problem with it. I mean, it also doesn't guarantee the kill because the creeps are attacking at the same time. So, yeah, definitely there are ways to shut him down, but it is like we said before, and I think on our last one actually, he's almost impossible to gank. He's very, very difficult unless you can chain off some stuns or whatever. Like he just can move way too fast to get out of there. So it's kind of hard to slow down his farm, but I guess there are a few ways that makes it possible.
Yeah, I mean, you think like Windrunner should be pretty good at pushing him out of the lane. If you send a duo lane up against him, it seems like really situationally where he's just really strong, like against Broodmother, because he can just sit on top of those Broodlings and farm up all that money from them. Even though it's only 11, 12 gold per Broodling, it's starts to stack up after you get a couple of them. So I don't know. I can understand where you're coming from, but he doesn't seem like he's as big a threat now that people have had the time to play with him, play against him, and really get a feel for how to deal with him.
Okay, I still hate him.
Okay, well, I guess I'll let you this time. I think my next, like I said, they're all loves, man. Plenty of love to go around over here. Marana. Oh, Marana.
I know why you love her, but what's the other reason?
Well, part of the reason I love her is because I called it, man. I've been seeing her more and more in games, and it makes so much sense. It's not even funny. It's kind of like piggybacking off of the Slardar thing, where it seems like teams are looking for heroes to be able to do damage, but they don't want to rely on the super farm carries like we had before, the Spectre, who we've actually seen a little bit. Um, Faceless Void, Anti Mage. Um, they're kind of looking towards the burstier, like the Storm Spirit. Queen of Pain actually has been picked up a couple times, trying to look for source of damage. But Mirana is a hero that before I was like, I don't know why she's not being picked up. She's such a good hero for these types of games. Starstorm is so good at dealing a lot of damage to creeps as well as enemy heroes. If you get that second star to fall on them, I hate to call you out, buddy, but she's such a strong solo lane. I remember one game when you were playing Silencer against her, and between the arrow and then the double star, she's so bursty early on in the game that she has a lot of potential to um, get kills in her own lane just by herself without ganks.
That's true.
And the thing I think is really kind of unique about her is she is kind of the early game mage, the kind of nuker type hero with that Starstorm. But then, of course, as she starts getting items, she really becomes the semi carry and can do that auto attack damage that people are looking for. The consistent damage, I guess, better than the burst damage or the damage that can be countered out by BKB. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, the other thing too is, of course, she's so good at ganking. Even if you like get your tower killed or something, or you can't like stay in your lane, if you have to switch stuff up, you can roam around a little bit and try and get some nice arrows on people. You can use that arrow to initiate later on, even though it's not like as dependable as maybe a Beastmaster ulti. You still have the opportunities to get your team into fights with a crazy advantage with that crazy duration stun.
Crazy duration.
Crazy.
Yeah, obviously she brings a lot to the table, and I mean that's why she does get picked up, as you see. And I mean, like, not everyone, I guess, practices maybe enough with her and like can land those arrows as well as others. And I mean it kind of that's like her main skill cap thing there, or learning curve, whatever you want to call it. Being able to line those up, because if like it can either be like one of the best initiations in the game or worthless. It's just a matter of a centimeter. So that does take a lot of practice and a lot of figuring out, a lot of predicting. But that's not her only thing. That's why she's so nice. I mean, she's also got the leap, which has multiple purposes. Obviously, one of the most mobile heroes in the game just because of that. She can go over terrain with it. Not too many heroes can do that. I do. And I like her ultimate, the fact that it can be both offensive and defensive. I mean, most of the time in like pub games or whatever, people only use it for defensive purposes. Like, oh, I'm getting caught, or my teammate, oh, I just noticed, I'll use it. But like the really good players set up ganks with it, like you were saying, and I love seeing that. That just really, I think, is a testament to like how people work well together, can decide, okay, this is actually really going to work out for us, and I do like her for all those purposes. I feel like she's one of the strongest solo lanes in the game. It is underrated probably right now in the meta, because I feel like she can contribute a lot of nice damage as well as burst damage. Like you said, she has it all. That's what's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
She'll give you that burst damage in the main game, and then she'll carry you in the late game.
Yeah, and I really think that we're going to see her more and more. I would be very surprised if we don't. I mean, there's not much lacking in her kit, and when you really are concerned about trying to either push through creeps or hold creep waves off, and you're also looking for consistent damage that won't be countered by BKB, definitely a good place to go. And then, of course, one of her key items, or one of the items that people go very often on her, is Mana Styles. Gives her a way out, and also is going to give you images to push with. I wish I had written down the game names. I was actually looking for that while you were talking, but there's a game where she was sort of played similar to Broodmother, where she was just kind of a solo, stayed in her lane like the whole game, just kept pressure up on that lane. And because of Leap, she was relatively safe unless they committed a lot of people to killing her. And at that point, if you're going to send 3-4 people to stop her, you're A, opening up other areas of the map for your team to take advantage of, and you're slowing down the other team's farm as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we pretty much nailed it. I do agree. I think she might come up. I mean, it really depends on how comfortable the people are with playing
Hmm.
her, fitting her in a lineup, I guess, that you really could see her in. Like, I guess she would replace, she would have to replace generally, I don't know, your your like Windrunner slash, I don't know what the heck the teams run in that lane besides Windrunner. That's like what I could think of.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to, I think, shuffle around some of the roles maybe, but I think instead of the Queen of Pain, instead of the Storm Spirit, those heroes are kind of similar in that they can initiate, they can do that burst damage, but like I just said, it's the fact that she can do consistent damage on top of that through the BKBs. So I think that's where she's really makes up for where they fall short.
In Doodly. So I'm gonna, bounce off you there, and
Go for it.
say,
Dribble away.
s- do what?
Dribble away.
What are
Bounce.
we playing
Like
basketball?
basketball. That's what I was going for, but thanks for making it awkward now.
I just still haven't gotten over how you're like a real person in the camera.
I know, it's great.
Um,
I haven't done anything ridiculous yet. I'll be honest. There were
I'm waiting for emotions to
several
like
times.
jump out. And,
Well, yeah, there were several times where like I would just do crazy stuff, and you would never notice, except I guess unless the headset fell off my head, because like you would get a frame every 4 seconds, so I could just do like grandiose movements, and you would never know. So I've been trying to like not be too crazy so far. We'll see.
well,
Cough still has yet to take full
well,
effect,
that's sad.
so
I'm disappointed.
be ready for it. It's coming.
Apparently, not Jeff joined our channel on IRC.
Oh,
he,
you know what?
He told us he was not Jeff.
Oh, that's probably pretty good then. I should also probably join the IRC. Forgot to mention that at the beginning of the cast. Pardon me. You're welcome to join us at Pound Dota On Demand in the IRC chat, because I know I'm about to join.
Can't
Like a ball.
wait. He already left because you weren't
Oh,
there. He was just like, "Where's BLM?" And then I'm like, "He's never coming."
my bad.
And that was it.
Letting the team down. Letting the team down.
Team Dracula.
What?
That didn't make sense. You know
That
what?
didn't
I
make
hate Dracula.
sense. Why? I don't even know what to say anymore. Why? Why do you hate Dracula?
Well, besides the fact that he's glittery, which is the number one reason, he dies to wood. How sad. Like, oh no, I've gotten splinters in my life. Does that make me... Yeah, I'm not that pathetic. I'm sorry. He's just...
You're a terrible, terrible individual. I just want you to know that.
That's okay. Our viewers don't have to know.
You just... Tree and Protector's very dangerous tree.
He gives splinters. Oh, if one of his moves was named Splinter or something, that would have been pretty sweet, actually. I would have approved. But it's
Yeah,
not.
there should be a ninja hero with splinters name of an
Oh.
ability. I would take
With
that as
some
well.
claws and
You know,
claws. I had to remember. He wears
I
purple.
would just
I hate
take
purple.
the tip of the hat. It's okay. It's all it needs.
I
It doesn't
forgot
have to be
about those
blatant.
things.
Just
Oh, that
you know.
was Ninja Turtles.
Why do I cast with you? No.
Because I bring the color.
What did you think it was before?
I don't know, Power Rangers?
Great.
At first. But then I realized
That is
I
fantastic.
have drawn conclusions using the scientific method.
I've thought of something I hate. The fact that you
Milking
don't
cows?
know
Apparently
what
not,
splinter
because
it's
that's
from.
what you just did.
What?
You just like milked a cow over there. That's what you just did.
It happens.
Okay.
It's my march of. I
Are
don't
you
know.
actually going to say something?
Just that I hate you,
Okay.
and
Well, I love
it's your
you.
turn. That's all.
Alright.
Anyway,
Well, anywho,
back on
you
topic.
know what I love?
What do you love?
Jungle heroes.
K. Go on.
Oh, do I have to? Okay.
We'll have to think
This
of.
is totally going to lead into another topic later in this cast, which is maybe why I
Oh.
did it. But
Baby.
I love jungle heroes because I like seeing a change in lanes. I don't like the standard, whatever standard could be considered. I like mixing it up. And I guess when I talk about standard, I mean like League of Legends. Like, that's just, we've been over that too many times, how boring that is. But When you throw a jungle hero in the mix, then now someone else is going to have to basically solo that wasn't going to solo before, and then that makes, I think it kind of adds to it like the gank potential first of all, because generally if you're a jungle hero, you have to have something that makes you stronger at the early levels to be able to take on these neutral creeps, because not a lot of heroes can do it. Let's be honest. So therefore, since you have this kind of strength, Hulk strength in the beginning, I feel like a lot of them have. Let me finish. See, now I can see that you're mocking me, and I don't appreciate it.
I know you couldn't see the back end
blur,
itself.
box. I was like, what is blur box? Okay.
The roll of the eyes is now clear and apparent.
Yeah, very apparent. No, but honestly, I do like to see that early aggression. And I feel like, for example, let's just use Chen, since he is picked or banned in every single game now. If he can find himself a nice Centaur Con really early in the game, he can gank at level 2, and he has a nice 1.5 second stun, AOE stun on top of that, and this mob does, I think it hits 40 to 50 or something, so it hits for as much as a hero at that level. That's huge potential in the beginning of the game, and if you can use that micro well, you're gonna be a lot more effective, I think, in the laning phase. And I don't know. I just like I said, I like to see a change of pace in the laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about Chen, it reminded me of Fire versus Absolute Legends, the game 1 of that tournament. Come on, buddy. Infused Cup. Thank you for.
Oh, I didn't know you
anyway,
before. Okay.
So game 1, Absolute Legends saw that Chen was picked by Fire. They basically kind of tried to shuffle around their lane so they didn't have a jungle hero. And so Chen actually, once they realized this, Chen went into the enemy jungle and started jungling there. And he was able to apply pressure to that lane, that bottom lane immediately, because he was on the Dire team. And so, yeah, I really like that. They had a lot of success with it. I believe, I want to say Fluff and Stuff was playing that Chen. They really had a lot of success in that bottom lane. And, it's not something that we tend to think about of invading the other team's jungle as much as we think of it in League of Legends. But, it was nice to see that when they come up against that kind of random situation where the enemy team just doesn't want to have to deal with the jungle all of a sudden because Chen's involved, that, they can kind of augment their play to make the fact that they have a jungle hero that much more effective.
Yeah. I definitely understand. I mean, it does. It really does. And you saw it, like you said, in the tournament games. They use those heroes so well. The ones that can control the neutral, like that or Enchantress. I mean, just the potential you have with these things. You can stack these different. Were you talking about that, stacking the auras and really making use of that?
Thank you for ruining my next point.
Well, I'm just saying in general. No, I'm leading into your next point. They don't. They don't even have ores. Nothing in the game has ores. So their abilities can be really effective when used with other abilities in the game.
Doesn't know Splinters from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ruins points immediately before making them.
Ruin a point. If anything, I'm introducing a point. I'm going to stop there. Did you have a point to make about anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Please continue, Aura Master.
Okay, well, auras are delicious. This is what happens when you tell me your points. You should just tell me 0. Just tell me,
sorry.
I want to talk about Dota. And I'll be like, oh, okay, we'll talk about Dota.
Great. Because we normally talk about baking goods. Apparently, communication is important in couples, while we're talking about this Valentine's Day cast. Unless it's in podcasts, in which case, just leave them in the dark. They'll appreciate it later.
Absolutely. Why don't you just get out
why is there a third person here all of a sudden? Oh, I thought we could try something new. Maybe 3-way castle. Just surprise them with it, because that will always work.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Now why don't you start?
Okay, I guess it's ruined now. Anyway, so I have a little bullet point down on my notebook. It's creeps are people too. I really like the way people have been building teams in a way that it seems like the creeps are really kind of a part of the strategy. We always think about like, oh, we have to be able to, break down the creep waves. We need heroes that are going to be able to destroy creeps quickly. If big waves accumulate, and we've heard heroes like, especially Beastmaster, when people talk about kind of the way that he was built in China a lot, where you would go for the wild axes and then you would go for the attack speed aura as a way to help push the lane. I've noticed in some of the recent games I've been watching, Beastmaster. Oh, I actually did write this down somewhere, I believe.
I just
Hold
want
on.
to also interrupt you and quickly say I think it's funny how the Asian teams were shying away from microing. That's
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
yeah.
I never really thought about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll find it. I think I give up. Yeah. Anyway, Beastmaster and Skelly King were put on the same team. Both those heroes obviously have beautiful initiation between the Q by Skelly King and then of course the ultimate from Beastmaster. They also have ours, Lifesteal from Skelly King and the attack speed from Beastmaster. It seemed like it was a really conscious decision to try and stack these R's up. Also, Beastmaster and Vengeful Spirit put on the same team as well, which is just fantastic. You get the damage and then the attack speed on top of that. So I just really liked that. It seems like we've had a couple weeks without patch. We've had a couple weeks without heroes entering the game to completely change it, change the metagame. We're really starting to see the nuance of the way people are kind of building these teams up.
Yeah, it's melee lifesteal, but it's still effective, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to throw it out there. Not a lot of ranged lifesteal going on unless you build. There's no aura, that's for true.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, stacking those auras, like I might have said earlier in this cast, can prove to be pretty effective. I mean, some of those auras from creeps are very underrated too, and that's what's like really interesting. I mean, like the only way I actually really determined how good they are is when I started playing Doombringer, and like the way
Yeah.
you can devour the creep, you gain one of their ability or multiple, depending I guess what abilities they have. Some of them had some delicious auras, and I mean like Doombringer, when he got the aura that gave like attack and movement speed, or one that gives like super high crit chance and it does a ton of like 200%
For
damage.
Wolf.
Like whoa, like where are these awesome things coming from? And like they're just like I said, they're underrated. And, like people don't really appreciate it. I guess the only reason why they're not as highly valued as they should be is because maybe the Hand of Midas has kind of entered in or sort of crept into the meta. Maybe not as much right now as with the pushing meta, but when there's like a strong like a Skeleton King, a Life Stealer, Anti-Mage, a lot of heroes you'll still see it built on, and especially if you know the other team's going to have jungle creeps on their team. I mean, that's an instant one-hit KOs that jungle creep, and now you don't have that aura that you're expecting to have in the team fight. So maybe that's possibly one reason why it's not as valuable, but still, I feel like it should be more accounted for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's funny you brought up Doombringer. It's a shame he's kind of like completely fallen off.
Yeah.
Miss that guy, the Doom man, so
Well,
good.
He's actually kind of boring. I mean, he just farms all day. The only thing that's like kind of interesting is if level death is the right level for the person. It's like
That's just
it's
hilarious.
like oh, kind of hair. Oh, it hit.
And then you just doom them, and then you walk away because they're dead and they
Two
can't
spells.
do anything about
Oh,
it.
forget it. All right.
Yeah, I mean that kind of brought me into something when I really started thinking about that. Reminded me of, I believe it was episode 1 when we were talking about heroes we liked and stuff. And you asked me about, like, what's your ideal push team? And I didn't have an answer ready because you caught me off guard, you jerk. But now that I've actually thought about this kind of aura stacking, I kind of put together what I think is, at least in my opinion right now, what I would think of as kind of my ideal push team. If you will perk up your ears and get ready for this. There you go. So, solo mid, definitely am liking the Beastmaster quite a bit. The ultimate for initiation, the... What?
Oh, sorry. I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Great, thank
I
you.
already hate your idea.
Excellent. The wild axes are useful for clearing out the creep waves if you're trying to push, if you're trying to defend. Of course, the vision from the hawk, the slow from the boar, the fact that the boar is a creep. It's also going to help you push at some additional damage into the lane. Just obviously a good hero in general. And then there's where you're getting, one of your main auras and the attack speed. For my side lane solo, I would pick up a Mirana for the reasons we've already discussed. She's also going to benefit from these auras. People have always kind of considered her a semi-carry. Well, now she's a semi-carry, and she's getting an attack speed aura, and she's going to get a damage aura from Vengeful Spirit, who I would throw in the bottom-ish lane, along with Broodmother. The Vengeful Spirit, of course, is going to give you additional initiation, as will Mirana. I mean, there's just a ton of initiation in this lineup. And of course, the negative armor, which is also going to help Mirana do more damage in the late game. Broodmother, I'm going to put in the bottom lane because she can farm so well, push so well, and this is, of course, giving you creeps that are going to benefit from these Rs. Vengeful Spirit is a terrible babysitter, unfortunately, but Broodmother is a beautiful solo hero. So Vengeful Spirit can really go off into the jungle, pull camps, stack camps, can kind of gank her own lane, and the negative armor is going to be able to help Broodmother get kills in that lane, hopefully. I don't have a fifth because I really don't care after this point.
You have to have a fifth. Come on.
No, well, team lineups are so specific to whatever is banned out or whatever the other team picks. I guess you have a jungle hero then, right? Yeah, you could pick a jungle hero. I was trying to think of someone if you wanted to run with Mirana, but I really don't care. I don't. It doesn't matter. Nature's Prophet, Chen, if you wanted to run them in lane. If you wanted to run a melee hero with Mirana, Tidehunter would obviously be beautiful. But, this setup of 4, I really like. I think none of them are the sort of hard carries, but them combined, you get a lot of damage output that will not matter if the other team has BKB. A ton of initiation, and I really like it. What are your thoughts?
I wrote down point to point what I don't like about your team.
Excellent. No, go ahead, because I like it so much.
It's okay.
I struggle.
I'll
Find what's wrong.
Don't worry, I have them.
Great.
Beastmaster, you're welcome.
Beastmaster sucks. So
no, I actually have legit reasons. His hawk doesn't do damage, so it's worthless.
I quit.
It's worthless for pushing. Alright. Second point.
I hope it's just as fantastic as the first.
Oh, it is. It actually might get better.
Great.
Miranda's ulti doesn't do damage. It's more used for ganking than anything, so it's not really good for pushing. You can't invis into a base. So that's like half legit.
Okay, this is my legitimate...
Would you let me finish? Wow.
No, I won't. This is like a legitimate, I could see a team building this. This isn't like I'm just throwing 5 heroes at the game that can push like crazy. Just to clarify. Also, you could pick up Vladimir's Offering on either Beastmaster or Broodmother as well. And that would be fantastic. Probably the Broodmother over Beastmaster. But okay, now you can go.
Vengeful Spirit sucks at babysitting. More of a ganking roaming team, in my opinion. And she suicides herself. You don't want that on a team.
What?
She suicides herself.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the beauty of running Vengeful Spirit with Broodmother, is she doesn't have to babysit. She's with Broodmother. So you're essentially sort of getting 2 solo lanes. Or a solo lane and a 1 and a half.
I like her in only like 1 or 2 situations. I like her in a minus armor team, and I like her in a gank roam kind of team. That's it. Like her in Earthshaker on team maybe, or her in Slardar, but I don't like her very much at all. Broodmother, there's absolutely nothing I can't say anything about him. She's a bitch. She's perfect for the team. Let's be honest. Broodmother.
Yeah, really strong. It's
she's
really
super
hard to
strong
shut
in
down.
lane. She can push with her spawnlings. I mean, she can't be harassed out very much. It's just she's too good for that.
And the team really has to spend a lot of gold in order to stop her too. I mean, the number of sentry wards you're going to be buying is significantly higher than it would be had you just been buying them for counter warding. So she's, even if she isn't super effective, she's going to be draining money out of the other team's Bank.
Though
Bank.
I feel like you were missing either um, Venumancer or Shadow Shaman on that team. I like some kind of words on my team. Oh, you know who I really wanted middle on your team?
Who?
Death Prophet. That's who I wanted on your team. So right when you said Beastmaster middle, I wanted Death Prophet, and that's why I was upset. I think she's a beautiful, underrated pusher.
I will agree with that, but Beastmaster's kind of tank for this team.
She'll go with Zeus in top lane.
What?
Dude, I told you. Remember, we
what
did
are
that
you
game?
talking
Me
about?
and Bonk went Zeus Beastmaster in the top lane.
I do not remember this.
Yeah, and we decimated. It
Well,
was
I'd imagine
brutal.
that's a lot of burst damage.
It was a terrible combo. We had no stuns or slows until I hit level 6.
Or,
You think I used
ah,
more?
well, I can't help that you're bad. I'm just saying there is
No,
a
I
skill
went
between
China
the two of
build.
you.
It was actually a pro strat.
Well, yeah, you go attack speed Zeus.
Yeah. He just rolled with his attack speed. It was ridiculous. Okay, so your team's like half good.
I disagree
Your team's
with
half good.
everything you've said. I like it.
The Death Prophet's better. I would even like Shadow Shaman as the support instead of Vengeful Spirit. You don't see him support very often, but I don't think he's bad. Honestly, he has CC and his wards are always amazing no matter what. So I feel like he's just fine on support.
I can live with that.
All right,
If I couldn't get Vengeful
we
Spirit.
can sub one hero then.
Yes,
And
the
then
one
your
who.
Chen or Nature's Prophet. I mean, that's just obviously good for the jungle. Or Enigma even, not bad. Not as good, but not bad.
Yeah, that's true. Enigma would be really good as well.
So
But yeah, I'm just saying. I'll let you steal it, pro teams, if you want to go ahead and pick it up and just shout out to BDLM. That's okay. I accept. You're welcome to have it.
I think you don't have anything to fear.
There you go. No copyright infringement yet. So
Big
get it while it's hot. Anyway, do you have any other love hate love?
Well, besides the fact that I hated your team lineup,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Okay, great.
We're really
I've
hating on
got-
each other today. We need to show the love
That's
a little
fantastic. Oh, but yeah, we're celebrating the love holiday by just
more. It's really the
bashing one another.
13th.
It's
That's
fantastic.
13th episode. That's pissing me off.
Oh, really? I love the number 13. I've always considered it to be a better
You like
number.
bad luck? You like
I've
prime
had bad
numbers,
luck with
perhaps?
it. Yeah, fantastic.
Say another
I'm a
prime number right now.
mathematician in my spare
Another prime
time,
number.
actually.
Go ahead.
So, no, that's it.
No,
Mathematician in my free time. Love those prime numbers.
tell me another prime number.
2. I mean 4. Wait, crap. 4.5.
This is not the math cast for a reason. Jesus.
Let's talk about some general things then that I think
Sure.
we both love forever and a half.
Mm-hmm.
How about the fact that they just announced that there's going to be LAN support for Dota 2? Oh,
Yes.
so excited.
Thank you.
You told me this earlier, and it took me a minute to kind of register what that meant. It was like, LAN, okay, great. But then it's like, oh, LAN. So this actually means that people can sort of play without lag, which will be very nice when there are sort of like the dream hack kind of situations where people are going to come to a location for tournaments. It's really unfortunate when you have teams play one another that are from so far away. Like if you have a North American team versus an Asian team, one of those teams is going to have to deal with terrible lag. It's just really unfortunate that that's the way it is. We saw StarCraft 2 actually. There was a lot of complaints basically that there wasn't going to be LAN support. It's something that, I mean, I'm not a programmer by any means, but it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to manage. You'd think you'd be able to knock it out fairly simply, but they're just like, no, you can play on BNet. It'll be all good. And it's like, yeah, you can deal with that, but why not just make something so that you can 100% even the playing field?
Well, I mean, it really does give competitive game the more room to be, I guess, even out the playing field, make it as like no, oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like obstacles, but no like variables. You know what I mean? Like nothing that's gonna throw off the game to an extreme amount. Like I remember seeing in some of the LoL tournaments I watched, like disconnects happened, and actually in a couple cases, they like it was like 14 or 15 minutes in that they even like I think they may have made an opinion on how the game was going to end or something. Like there was like so ridiculous, but at that point the game was so far progressed, like they couldn't just remake it, and now they had to figure out what was going to happen. And like you don't want things like that happening in your games. You want to have as steady, stable, reliable conditions as possible, and that's why I think this is just such a great, fantastic direction they're taking. It's really going to allow when the game actually goes live, more tournaments are opening up. And a lot of them are going to be LAN events. You would have to imagine, not all of them, obviously, but for the ones that are, you would really like to see that kind of. Especially you think about it for like the next what's it called, international tournament or the huge one.
Yeah.
Like if that could be on a LAN, that's going to be provide such better playing environment for these teams. It's really going to just add to the overall experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably maybe something that plays a part in it I didn't really think about till just now. I was watching one of the defense games, and I guess Steam decided to do maintenance at a time that isn't the normal time for Steam maintenance. And they mentioned, like, yeah, we actually planned around the Steam maintenance time so that we wouldn't have issues. So it's like Valve has to go through this third-party system, so it's not like StarCraft and BattleNet where StarCraft can be like, oh yeah, don't do anything at this time because we're doing maintenance. They're kind of at Steam's whims whenever they have to do something or whenever they have issues. It's something outside of their control.
Yeah, that's a good. I kind of forgot that Steam played such an integral part in their system.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they work with those guys very close. I mean, Valve, the company who made Dota 2, is just. Their original one of their original titles was the Half-Life in this Counter-Strike, which blew up when Steam first was coming out. Like that was one of the most popular things on there. So I'm sure they're very tied together on their their whatever they decide to do. So especially when tournaments come around, you have to think they're going to provide the best service for that as possible.
Yeah, definitely. How about these crazy concept arts?
Oh my gosh! So obviously, there was talks of yet another delay on or I guess it was maybe not. There's not another patch, right? It's another week without a patch, and then also there was an additional downtime because they're upgrading servers. I guess that's what they're doing. Are they still implementing the thing we were discussing last week about the Dota like
Public
beta
test thing.
Yeah, the beta squared.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, but I guess
that's what I wanted to try and get out that one time, and then the words didn't.
I know. Don't worry, we're not all wordsmiths like myself.
There you go.
But yeah, so instead, what they did, they released, and it's just teasers. We have no idea what this actually means, if they're going to come up anytime soon, or what have you. But there's concept arts, and I'm going to actually do some magic here and flip the scene over to some of these concept arts. We're going to start with...
Wait. Oh. Did you switch the screen over already?
No.
Can you do the I Dream of Genie thing? And then hit the button?
Oh, I was going to wiggle my nose, but that's Bewitched.
Yes. Close.
I can't even wiggle my nose. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, yeah, do them. Yeah, I can't do it either. Anyway, go ahead and do whatever.
And... I'm failing, and...
Excellent.
I'm done failing.
Keep it up, brother. Excellent. There we go.
There it is. So here's the first one. This is going to be... Or this is the art for Syllabear. As you would have to imagine, he's both the middle, top left, and bottom left. That is all him. Except for the bear, I guess. I guess
the bear might actually be the bear.
The bear... What was the bear's name? Boo Boo?
I think they changed it because obviously Boo Boo is related to certain yogis.
Picnic biscuits, if you will.
Picnic biscuit? Yes, the spirit bear, as he is known.
Oh, whatever.
It's the general.
Okay, so the spirit bear. So, for those who don't know what Syllabear, did you want to go in them or did you want me to?
We should probably just go over these generally because when they
Very
do get
generally,
released,
yeah.
then So go ahead, buddy.
All right,
I'll
well,
take the next one.
I'll take this guy away. So basically, he's a ranged, generally built, obviously attack damage hero. He
Agility hero.
agility as well, correct. He's got a pretty medium range, and he obviously can summon that bear, as you see in the upper right hand corner. And essentially, he's primarily, I would say, played in the jungle, but he can be played in the lane very easily. His bear is very tanky, and eventually, as he levels up his bear, he gains abilities like he eventually does more damage to towers. He can return back to his master if you like. He can teleport himself instantly, and then I think at the max rank, he can actually carry items of his own. I don't know if that was changed to be in earlier ranks now, but I mean we can figure that out later. The point is he'll be able to carry his own items, so you can build items on him, which is really awesome. And I guess one of his main functions is being a really good pusher. Like that's his main purpose: jungling, getting those big items, and then pushing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty strong range carry. I mean, his ultimate makes him a melee hero, but when we saw him played in Han, actually, a lot of people just didn't pick up the ultimate because he's kind of better as a range hero.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, the bear has a chance to entangle somebody to root them in place. Also has the potential to do, or not the potential, it does do extra damage against buildings as well. So he's kind of a carry that can push really well. He's actually one of the heroes that like Maelstrom actually makes a decent amount of sense on, the Molgeneer. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes them to implement these heroes.
Exactly.
First of all, I mean, we've seen some of the heroes like Phantom Assassin, Gyrocopter, Bane, who has been talked about forever, who still isn't in the game. So you have to imagine it'll still be a while. I mean, a while ago we got a taste of Dirge's art, and we still haven't heard anything about him recently either.
Correct. All right, you want here? Let me move down. Let me see. Oh, I did it.
Yay!
Lycanthrope. Or I guess you just call him Lycan in this.
Oh, they do?
They just call him Lycan in here.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, Lycanthrope, similarly played in the jungle, has the ability to summon wolves that he can control. He has an activate that grants damage to heroes and hero-controlled units. So his wolves, Chen creeps, things of that sort. He also has a passive. Yes, that increases damage and attack speed to him and his wolves as well. His ultimate allows him to shapeshift into a wolf, giving him attack speed, crit, hit points, all that.
Oh, and max move speed.
Oh, yes.
Kind of important, by the way.
No, I don't think so, actually. Kind of minor thing. He is a melee strength hero, as most strength heroes are, except for Io, who I'm very excited about. Anyway. Yeah, so he's kind of in the same vein almost. He has the potential to push, doesn't have any like dedicated crowd control, so he's kind of just a lot of damage.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's similar, I guess, to Silly Bear. I call him that more often than Silly Bear. In that sense that he just you don't gank a lot with him. And I guess this one in particular, when he hits 6, okay, he does gank. He has the potential to gank pretty well, but you really want to just keep him in the jungle, get fat, get farmed, even take over lanes when possible, and just build up those really, especially him. He likes to get a BKB really quick, or Vladimir's, those kind of items. I guess we shouldn't go too far into detail, but the point is, he is really effective at pushing lanes when he gets that farmed, as well as ganking and being destructive force in those team fights, something to really reckon with. So it'll be interesting to see him eventually get implemented in this game. I do like his concept art, except for kind of his chops going on. That's kind of crazy looking. I don't know what's going on there. And then like the one like kind of shoulder pad thing going on. It looked like he like ripped off like some hair from another wolf and it's like, sup, taking this.
Just glued it on. Yeah, I think he's probably my least favorite of the three, to be honest. But
I like his blades.
Yeah, they remind me of the blades of attack, actually.
Yeah, That's pretty
His
cool.
belt buckle's pretty sweet too. He's got his
He's
perks,
got
I
his
guess.
mojo.
Yeah, interesting too. I mean, I guess they both have the potential to be able to come out of the jungle to push, but I think most players probably think of these heroes in pub games as like anti-mages on crack. Like instead of anti-mage who like is in the lane for a while and then kind of disappears to farm for forever, like these heroes you just kind of forget they're on your team. It's like, oh snap, I thought this guy disconnected. Here he is finally with items.
Yeah.
kind of kind of interesting. Both of those kind of get shown at the same time.
Indeed. All right, I'm going to move on to the third and final one here. I'm going to try
Do it.
to. Wow, perfect. I'm a genius. Third hero. His name would be called Shadow Demon. And this guy is a very kind of interesting hero. And I actually, unfortunately, am not super well informed. I know kind of what his moves do, but unfortunately, back when I was playing Dota, he wasn't around. He kind of got implemented later on. But essentially, he's the intellect hero, ranged, who has a few moves, believe it or not. One of them, similar to Obsidian Destroyer, if you know who he is, he can like banish a hero out of existence, and when he comes back in, I believe it's 3 images are created of that hero that are under the Shadow Demon's control.
2.
Oh, it's only 2? Okay. Well, it's still cool. So, yeah.
Deal with it.
Then another one, I believe it's an AoE, and it randomly chooses one hero in that AoE, and that person takes, I think it's amplified damage. Is that exactly what he does? I should really have this pulled up, I feel like.
Probably. Yeah. It targets an area. A random enemy unit in the area is affected with a curse, causing it to take increased damage for 12 seconds. The damage amplification goes up to 50% at max rank, so kind of crazy.
That is really crazy, actually.
You know, I'm just gonna finish it since I already have it open.
No, you
And you
don't.
suck. Okay. He has another ability that basically forces the enemy team to spread out, kind of similar to how Lich's ultimate works. This ability is a dot that that the target can spread to other people, and it can stack. So you have to try and space out. He's obviously, as you can tell, a very good hero to disrupt team fights. His ultimate, a purge that does an absurd amount of damage on a relatively short cooldown. So he's definitely a hero that will, most likely be banned as he was in Dota 1.
Yeah, he obviously just brings so much to the table. He was mainly used, I guess, to counter specific picks, but in general, you don't even need him to counter hero. He's just that strong. You just want him on your team, kind of like Invoker, I guess, in that sense. How you see Invoker played in a lot of lineups. The only reason probably you might not see him as much is just people are still kind of adapting to him, but Shadow Demon, I think, is a little easier to play, so you'd probably see him picked up a lot more. Any Hoozle, his art is awesome.
Yeah, I do like his quite a bit.
Him pretty well, I think.
I think it's neat how different Shadow Demon and Lycan's art are when they had the same art pretty much in Dota 1. It's really cool looks. They're still kind of reminiscent of the Dota 1. I guess maybe Shadow Demon more than Lycan. But very, very interesting, very unique looking heroes. I like them a lot. I mean, which of these heroes do you think is actually going to maybe affect the way the game's being played? If and when they get implemented. Well, when.
I really do think, Shadow Demon will play the biggest role in the game for the reasons you listed. He's got a purge, first of all, so he can remove buffs, slow someone, do a very decent chunk of damage.
400 at rank 3, I believe.
Yeah, it's just silly. That's really a lot of damage coming out. And a 50-second cooldown on top of that. There's no way that has Nagamon's upgrade, does it?
No,
That'd
I
be
do not
scary.
believe so.
I don't even know what. It's a 5-second
There's no
cooldown.
cooldown. Yeah.
Now
No mana
spammable.
cost.
No mana cost. That's like, okay. Anywho, obviously, what I was kind of getting at, he's used to counter pick anti-mage. So people are not as afraid of anti-mage anymore because if they pick him up, what he'll do is he'll use his banish move. I think it's called something prison. It's actually named. It doesn't matter. The point is his banish move. Basically, he'll banish the anti-mage, and when he comes out, there'll be 2 images of anti-mage that actually do gain the mana burn on hit effect. So, they'll come out and start mana burning either anti-mage or his allies or whatever, and that's kind of rude. I mean, that right there is the main reason why he's so effective. But you can imagine any carry that gets banished and then two images of that carry pop out. That's effective with most situations, so that's really awesome. Obviously, amplifying damage. How can that not be considered amazing? If you can use it well, of course, choosing the right hero. I don't know about his third move. That seems kind of situational. Because how often do you want their team to split up? Most cases, you want
Team
them to
fights.
stack up. For
I mean,
AoEs.
I guess yeah. I think mostly to discourage the team from chasing people down and to try and push people away in team fights as well. Um, but the thing is, it's like it's not enough damage that you're gonna be like, oh crap, guys, shadow poison, everybody run for the hills.
Yeah,
So they're gonna stay together and they're gonna spread the poison and it's gonna stack up. So
true.
it's gonna probably do a fair
All right,
amount
I
of
think I'm going to
damage.
put our camera back on.
That's fine.
So you should tuck that back in.
Oh, my bad.
Let's talk about
Anyway.
your shirt.
Oh.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Hi, world. All right. But yeah, I think he'll be the biggest player. But honestly, I mean, okay, Lycan, as much as I'd like him to be the game, probably won't just
No, you
because.
don't.
No,
You don't.
no, I guess he just kind of annoying. But Syllabear, I definitely can see him being in the game, especially if this meta's around by the time he, which I think it will be. I mean, amazing jungler, amazing farmer, amazing pusher, such a beast in team fights. He is one of the few that I think can stand up with Dragon Knight, actually, if he gets farmed enough. Just because his auto attacks, his attack speed, his bear bashing on him, like, there's so many reasons why he's such a force to reckon with, and I do honestly see him making his way into the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is like I was saying earlier, you put the Molotov on him and he has the ability to sort of deal with creep waves as well. So he really does kind of have everything that people are looking for right now on top of the fact that he can do a large amount of sustainable damage. So yeah, I think I'm in agreement. I mean, I think the interesting thing about Shadow Demon is we're probably never going to see him, but it's kind of the same thing with Invoker where, okay, well now there's another hero that can't be banned. Or there's another hero that's going to be back in the pool, I guess is the
Yeah,
best way
exactly.
to say it. So, unless they increase the number of bans by the time he comes out, it'll be interesting to see, which hero is all of a sudden not as scary as Shadow Demon.
I honestly don't think the number of bans are going to increase anytime soon. I mean, like, Dota
Yeah.
1 has had that many bans, and their pool is enormous. So I think until it at least reaches that amount of heroes, and then gets beyond, maybe that's when they'll look to add a fifth ban or something on each team. But yeah, so I do agree. It's gonna be interesting to see which heroes get through. Maybe like more Night Stalkers, more. Uh, I mean, Nature Prophet's kind of already making his way through as it is, but I don't know. Yeah, it will be interesting. Probably Clinks will get through. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's going to be close.
I mean, he's just that good that I played him. By the way, finally, and it
Was it the
was
best day of your
it was
life?
awful. Like, what
Oh,
I've realized is, first of all, he's pretty damn worthless. And whoa, pardon my language. That, whew, I'm sorry, everyone. I I've sinned. Um, he's darn tootin' worthless in team fights. As soon as you pop out of stealth, you get killed. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. And what I've realized, I actually like him as a split pusher. Kind of like similar in League of Legends. I like referencing it because I watch it deal with it. There's a hero called Teemo. If you play
oh
League of
God.
Legends, you know who
Timo.
Teemo is. And he really only serves one purpose. He's worthless in team fights. All he's good for is pushing another lane because he's so fat, attacks really fast, and kills things really quickly. And like that's kind of what I think Clinks is good at, split pushing. He'll go into a lane, clear the wave, destroy towers with ease because he turns that searing arrow and the strafe on, and he'll just annihilate it. He can even a lot of times burn through the health regen if he has enough items, just because of how fast he attacks, and how much damage he does. So it's also interesting to note though, you can't orb attack a building or structure. Like for example, you can't press the letter like R or whatever it is and then attack it. You have to have it on auto cast
Hmm.
for it to hit that. Just something to note. Because I was wondering about it, I'm
Interesting.
like, oh, did they not allow him to hit buildings and stuff with his thing. I'm like, oh, they make him so much worse. I'm so sad. And then like just auto cast. I'm like, oh, never mind, it works. So, but yeah, I think that's actually his role. And obviously, in this meta, split pushing is not the way teams are going. They're going for one big push in the middle. So, but it's a possibility, you know.
There you go. There's a little light of
Put
hope.
him in one
Just a
lane,
little bit.
Lycan in another lane, split pushing. You know. Just
There you go. Solar Bear down the middle.
Wow, we just made a team. That's it.
You don't even need the other two heroes.
I wouldn't.
Slark and Templar Assassin. Go.
And T-Pain.
Yes. Definitely T-Pain. Well, I don't know about you, buddy, but I think I'm pretty much talked out here.
I'm 100% talked out.
Alrighty. So, last kind of thing I want to say. We unfortunately have not gotten the podcast up to iTunes because people. Anyway, what you can do is actually what I did to get the audio off of these videos. I'm going to post a link on Facebook. I will also probably have it as a comment to this video as well. It's a website. Go there. You put in the link to this video, youtube.com. Copy, paste that in there, and it'll let you download just the audio. So in case you guys don't listen to this on the go, that will be an option for you until pigs fly. Other than that, thank you guys very much for joining in with us this week. As always, we appreciate it. Join us in our IRC, Pound Dota On Demand. Come check us out on Facebook at Facebook/Dota On Demand. Also check us out on OWN and YouTube. And thank you very much. Happy Valentine's, everybody. See you next week.